Ed Sheeran, we have been celebrating the 500 most streamed songs of Apple Music's first decade. The numbers are insane, as you can imagine. I mean, we're talking billions and billions of streams, and the kind of math that neither of us who got into music ever expected to be dealing with.
How do you know? Because you guys never tell the figures. How do we know?
Is it how do we know or how do we know? Because there's a difference.
No. How do we know? I know that you know.
You know because we're telling you.
Do you know what? I actually think that that's the way that it should be. I think numbers ruin joy of music. I think that it's better. Like, I like the fact I did a documentary for a streaming service, and I have no idea how it did, but I just bump into people every now and then, and they go, "Oh, I watched the documentary," and you go, "Oh, cool." Like, and that's how you know it did well, is it's like reached people. I sometimes think that like putting numerical figures on and saying that that's the success of a song, not what, you know, some of my favorite albums on the other streaming service haven't got like millions and millions of streams, but they're still my favorite albums. And for some reason you look at that and you go, oh, it must not have done well. So yeah, I think how you guys do it is actually probably the way that keeps most artists sane.
Well, that's the right approach, definitely, from the artist's point of view, in my humble opinion. You know, as someone who, as you know, makes music as well as tries to support it and talk about it, I don't see any distinction between the two, and I know that math doesn't help either of them for me, right? And so at the end of the day, but this is the world we live in, and you know, when you're dealing with the kind of numbers, when you're breaking it down into micro plays, and then it all adds up to one much bigger number, then I guess once every decade you should celebrate that. And like all countdowns, there has to be a number one, and that would be you, my old friend, holding down the number one spot with Shape of You.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't. I was actually surprised when I was told. I thought it was Blinding Lights.
Number two. Blinding Lights is number two, actually, Ed. You beat out The Weeknd. I'm not going to tell you by how many streams.
Apple Music, baby, let's get it.
Apple Music, baby. So let's talk a little about Shape of You, because it was one of those really important songs for you, and that it was an outlier at the time with only a couple of others that felt like you had been dabbling into a different dynamic, right? People had become accustomed to you as a songwriter, building these beautiful songs from the guitar out. This one was a real shot at the charts, you know. I maybe not consciously, but when I heard it the first time, I was like, this is an undeniable pop song.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? When I wrote it, it didn't even cross my, like, I know this sounds weird, but I've written so many songs like that. I mean, obviously not like that, but hundreds of times where you're in the studio and you're just like, let's create a vibe, and then let's just get through it, make it, move on to the next one. At the end of the day, we'll survey the 5 or 6 songs we've done and see if there's a good one in there. So we would just meet. It was the first day I'd worked with Steve Mack. Me and Johnny had gone in, we just powered through, and we just went song. And at the end of the day, we looked back and we were like, this one's all right. And then I went to, we were doing drums on a track on Divide called Eraser that night. So me and Johnny went to Rack Studios, and then I played it to Ben Cook and Ed Howard, who were the head of Asylum Records, who they basically, on their label, they had me, Charlie XCX, Anne Marie, and Rudimental.
Yeah.
And I said to them, I was like, this could easily be a Rudimental song that you could get Rihanna on. And they were like, you're mental, you should keep this one. And I was like, I don't know. Like,
I'm just hearing it in a drum and bass rhythm now. I'm just hearing,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? It just felt like it might have fit in that. And then, but my record was like perfect, Castle on the Hill, Happier. Like, it was very much in one genre. So it felt like it, as you said, like an outlier. But yeah, I'm really glad I put it out. It's only really now looking back, I sort of wish I'd realized how special those moments were, because at the time I was just comparing it to everything else, and like Kendrick's Damn had come out, and I remember just being like, that culturally has mattered way more than Shape of You. And so I was sort of like, felt like, I don't know. I felt weird about it the whole time. But now it's sort of like 8 years on, I still play that song everywhere in the world. I can go anywhere in the world, even if it's like remote jungle in Cambodia, and they know that song. And it's really like, it's permeated some mad places. And I wouldn't even say it's the song that, I say this all the time to my brother, because my brother's a classical musician, and all classical musicians, all the old ones, they're all known for like one thing. Like they've obviously done like hundreds and hundreds of pieces, but they're known for one thing.
And one movement. Yeah.
And I go, what's the Beatles' one. Actually, what do you think the Beatles'
Me?
one song is?
Woo! Fucking hell,
The
that's a
one that
question.
the one that in 400 years time someone go, and I think it's Yesterday personally.
Yeah, it's probably Yesterday, or it's maybe it's was Hey Jude Beatles, or was it McCartney? That was Beatles, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it's Hey Jude.
yeah.
I mean, I think about the one, like if the Beatles were around today.
This is why I ride for McCartney, man, because all of the ones that people say are all McCartney songs, all of them.
Yeah.
My point is, I've never seen "Shape of You" as that song for me, as the song that like I will be remembered for. But it's like weird everywhere I go in the world, because we travel everywhere and we play everywhere, and we went to Bhutan recently, and that song like kicked off there, and me and Ches have been to remote places in Antarctica or Cambodia or like outback Australia, and that song just finds its way everywhere.
Well, because you've got this great hook in there, which I think is kind of it crosses crosses language barriers.
But the rhythm as well, because the rhythm, I originally, when I was making it, I was like, this is a dancehall rhythm. But then when I was in India, they were like, oh no, this is a Punjabi Bhangra rhythm. And then like I would be somewhere else and they'd be like, oh no, this is that. It's a sort of rhythm that like I play Shape of You with Bioga, who are Irish trad band as well, and it really works with Baron as well. And so it's just a rhythm that I feel is a universal rhythm, basically.
It must be nice to know you can have both. Both things can be right at the same time. You can have a song, which is the number one most streamed song of the last 10 years at Apple Music, that has traveled to every corner of the world, and yet in your heart you know it's not the song that is your yesterday. And I think that must be really lovely to get to this point in your life, to know you're not defined by your success anymore, that you probably you may not have written that song yet that they'll play in your obituary when you die at 99.
I quite like the idea that I haven't written it. I think probably I have, and it's perfect. Because I think that those two songs permeate.
Which is at number 8, by the way, in this chart, just FYI, in case you're wondering.
Great. But no, I think that what I've realized about a discography or like a set list is you need all of these songs. If I had 2.5 hours of me playing slow ballads, it's boring. You have to. I love where Shape of You is in the set. I love where Azizam is in the set. I love where Hearts Don't Break Around is in the set. Or Afterglow or Castle on the Hill. It creates a really interesting tapestry of a gig where you can whip out things depending on the mood you're in. We just played in Marseille, and I could just tell that they were mental. So you can just throw in more upbeat mental songs, and it's good.
Congratulations, Ed. Look, we talked a little bit about the beginning of this short conversation about math, and it doesn't drive you, it doesn't drive me, but
it used to, though. It definitely used to.
Yeah,
I definitely fair. Like I got like mildly obsessed with it because I was never good at anything. That I got mildly obsessed with it when I was like, oh, this is working for me. But I think that I've kind of gone full circle. I think releasing Subtract as an album broke me out of it, and I've kind of like. I can now look back on all of it and be like, that was a part of my life. But yeah, and I think anyone that says that they haven't ever felt like that is lying. Everyone at some point, even like the most indie artist that you and I would know, like I know just because through mutual friends, I know a lot of these really indie artists, they all want at some point to have a moment like that of numbers. It is a thing. It is a thing that everyone at some point in their life craves.
But what a beautiful place to be at your life, to be able to acknowledge this number right now and know that, to your point, you've got beautiful music to make and different ways to make it.
And no one can take away the song. Like Shape of You exists, and I'll be able to play it forever. And will continue to keep writing music and keep releasing it. But I'm just grateful that I have songs like that you could be anywhere in the world and someone gives you a guitar and you can make someone happy with it.
I'm just grateful it's the number one most streaming song in the last 10 years, baby. Just want to say that. Oh, yeah.
Apple Music, baby. Let's go.
I'll see you in the summer. Have a great last couple of days.
Nice one. Thank you, man. I'll see you in the summer. Lots of love.